Salesman, where you gonna go sell all of your goods today? Salesman, gonna walk along the street, see friends along the way. A salesman with your wooden cart that you push along while you walk. A salesman got a little dog whose tail wags when you talk. You always wear a smile, even though you gotta walk 10 miles. Short lifespan, good time salesman. Yep, salesman, boy on the street, whether it's hot or cold. It's a salesman where you work real hard till every part is sold. Salesman, as the years go by, people changing every day. A salesman, till the end of time, you'll be living in the same way. You always wear a smile, you love him fast and you live wild. Short lifespan, but ain't life grand. Copper kettles, different kinds of tin. There goes salesman and he's sailing high again. He's sailing so high, he's sailing so high, he's sailing so high, high, high. Oh, salesman, where you gonna go sell all of your goods today? Yep, salesman, gonna walk along the street, see friends along the way. A salesman with your wooden cart that you push along while you walk. A salesman with your secret goods that you push while you talk. You always wear a smile, even though you gotta walk 110 miles. Short lifespan, but the whole thing's grand.
In 1968, Screen Gems aired an episode of The Monkees entitled The Devil and Peter Tork, highlighting the first track to a vague attempt at a Sgt. Pepper's album. The episode begins when Peter discovers a golden harp in a pawn shop run by the devil.
Here we come.
Of course, you already know where this one's going. This particular episode sparked great controversy among religious groups that cited an obvious attempt to soften the threat of giving in to the temptations as long as you've got clever friends that can help you trick the Prince of Darkness out of taking your soul.
And we've got something to say.
This vexatious studio logo is the product of Columbia Pictures and Eric Sade. So haunting was the imagery and sound when combined that it caused nightmares for many children growing up in the 60s. In 2009, a film entitled The S from Hell was screened in many film festivals including Sundance.
Do you remember specifically when the Flintstones were done and the theme music was over? I knew the exact spot. I remember specifically running away from it and hiding behind the couch.
Whether it's intended or not, it's hard to dismiss the power affected on a population. In fact, they still use this logo today.
What's that? Another ultimate weapon?
Yes. You could say that.
but a hound dog. You're crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You're crying all the time.
Rock and roll has got to go. And go it does at KWK. We're all through playing rock and roll records. This week is record-breaking week here at KWK. And after this week, no more rock and roll will be played on the air.
By the end of this song.
So outraged was the public at the appearance of Elvis on Ed Sullivan that his next appearance would be shot from the waist up. But like all attempts to control standards and practices, it's up to the individual to decide what is right and wrong. And they count on it.
I should not have to use an NFL halftime show as a negative example to teach my children. You knew what you were doing. You knew what kind of entertainment you're selling. And you wanted us all to be abuzz here in this room and on the playground in my kids' school because it improves your ratings, it improves your market share, and it lines your pockets.
The Robert Johnson story begins like most superstars. A neglected childhood while experiencing poverty, and then the great loss of a loved one. In his case, it was his wife while giving childbirth.
I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees.
Some would say that this is an opportune time for Satan to do his bidding.
At the Lord above, I'm mercy now.
Before receiving his ability, Johnson was considered to be a hack at best.
I never seen him have to practice anything like that. Never seen him sit down and learn a song. He already knew it. Once he attempted to play it, he knew it. He had a built-in computer. Everything he heard was there. All he had to do was punch the button.
Well, they say he sold himself to the devil.
Early this morning, he knocked upon my door. I believe it's time to go. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
In this rare recording at Sun Studios, you can hear Jerry Lee Lewis and Sam Phillips argue about whether or not the devil can save souls.
Balls of fire.
How can the devil save souls? What are you talking about? Man, I got the devil in me. But then hell, I've been Christian. So I don't care if it ain't what you believe. But what's written in the Bible? If it's not what you believe, then how do you interpret it? H-E-L-A.
This is great. This is great. Balls of fire.
I was getting into, not practicing, but reading a lot of spiritualism and black magic and white magic and all that kind of stuff, and, which, you know, a lot of people were doing at the time, which was like the post-hippie generation kind of thing, so all the peace and love was going out the window. And spiritualism and meditation, all that was coming in, so I was interested in that. And somebody gave Ozzy this old 16th century book of black magic, and it was all written in, I think it was Latin. And I just got this really weird vibe off it. And I put it in this cupboard in the apartment that I was living in. And that night, I just like woke up suddenly, and there was just like this black shape at the bottom of my bed. And it just seemed, it just vanished into thin air as I was staring at it. And this, I just had the thought, it's got to have something to do with this book that Ozzy brought round for me, and I leapt out of bed, rushed to the cupboard to throw this book out, and the book was gone. about 3 days after that, we came up with our first song, Black Sabbath.
We've always, within the band, said there is a fifth member, a mystical member, yeah. We've always said there's something looking over us.
And the only way that I can describe that, probably in its best, the best way for me is that when we were playing our first songs together, and especially our first the first 3 albums, for instance, we would literally show up in a room, and it was almost as if the songs were already written. That's why I like to call Black Sabbath a phenomenon, rather than a band. Although it is a rock and roll band, there's a phenomena involved there where that stuff just comes from somewhere, and it just so happened that we happened to be the ones that it came to.
Recent analysis has proved that there's probably 2 people inside of me, just like a Gemini, and we haven't determined what sex that other person is yet.
Did you say I'm not even sure what sex it is, or he or she, or it is? Did you say that?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that. You found out that there is another person living inside you.
Yeah.
Jim's contribution to music was that Jim was real. Jim was real on stage. Jim was real when he wrote his songs, when he sang his songs in the studio. He was not a performer. He was not an entertainer. He was not a showman. He was a shaman. He was possessed, man. He was possessed, man. Possessed, man.
I let my cheeks slide down the cool, smooth tile.
I'm closer to the golden dawn. Immersed in Crowley's uniform of imagery.
To create the most evilest music and to gain entrance into the 7 gates of hell.
So a concert is an act of worship for you?
Exactly. It's a focal point to express my Satanism.
Do you believe in demonic possession?
Of course.
Are you possessed?
Of course.